That's you. You born to rule the nature of God's creation. But you got to be yourself a God. What? The scripture says you are all God's children of the Most High God. And he's most high not because he's high. He's my, he's my, no, wait. I'm going to be like God, you know what I mean? I'm going to be the most high on my block. And you never grow to master beyond your block because you're so high you can't produce. God is the most high because he's the most magnificent in all the divine characteristics of his nature. And each of us has that nature of God in us. Now, why, Farrakhan, are you saying that to us in this setting? The greatest change agents in the world are the people in the culture and art community of every nation. Mao Zedong had 600 million Chinese to organize, to deputize and supervise. So what did he do? He had a little red book, but he knew he couldn't put that book over without the art community. He did it in song, he did it in dance, he did it through plays and theater. That's how the artist community is used properly to engage the minds of the people in a revolutionary desire to be free. You're the ones to do that. We are the gods of art and culture. So any change that we want, you are able to produce it with a song. Now, I don't know if you know T.D. Jakes, but T.D. one of the baddest preachers that we got. And there's a lot more. I mean, we hoop a lot. We preach. But one song from any one of you, ain't no preacher that we got can match the power of one song. Just one. Preachers may be good in their church, but you got followers all over the world. And who are the revolutionaries that's overthrowing governments all over the world? Who is doing that? Who? Say it again. It's the youth. If the youth are doing it all over the world, then he who can guide and control the movement of youth are the real world leaders. So if you're that good like a Jay-Z and you're in the beehive with Beyonce, what politician doesn't want you by their side? If you can hoop like LeBron James, what politician wouldn't want to say, LeBron James has just announced his support for me? They need you. You really need them if they would do what they promise. But the problem with most of them, they promise only to deceive. How you doing, my brother? You know I'm happy and honored every time I see your beautiful face. Thank you for coming. Have you heard of Killer Mike? Now, Killer Mike, when I saw him stand with Bernie Sanders, because of all the candidates, Bernie Sanders was talking more the right talk, the revolutionary talk, the game-changing talk. So Killer Mike stood with him. But the other day I heard him on YouTube. I think we Googled him up or something, and he was blazing. These dogs, he said. Yes, he did. He called them dogs. He said, go on down to the bank. If 1 million of you take $100 out of your bank account, just 100, and take it to a bank that is your black bank and put 100 million in that bank, then you make a demand on that bank to serve your community. 100 million that's in our hands, we can start doing business, creating industry, manufacturing again. These two young brothers that own this place, I was blown away. 26 years old. Now, I don't want to come back to Atlanta and find the gathering spot in trouble. Because it's only successful if we support it. This envy that we have, this is a sickness. Oh, man, I ain't going down there. Them niggas gonna make some money. Next thing you know, they'll be driving a Bentley while I'm in my Volkswagen. If you would like a Bentley, do you like Bentleys? Just say. Would you like one if you had one today, a Bentley? Well, whatever you like. If you like it for you, do you like it for your brother if he gets it before you get yours? See, we're not Muslims unless we love for our brother what we love for ourselves. So if you get it before I got mine, I should be just as happy for you. And I mean be genuinely happy with no back talk and slander and bad mouth. See that nigga, he out this, he's selling drugs. You don't know what he's doing. But if he is, leave him alone. That's how Mr. Kennedy did it. He was the big dope dealer in the 20s and 30s, only it was called lightning. A liquor man. Prohibition. But the money that he made one son a president, two sons senators. Come on now. He was allowed to keep what he got criminally. Bob Lucas couldn't do that. No. Lucas had the best heroin. I mean, it's best if that's what you like. But look at where according to the movie, the dog was barking. And they found the money where the dog was, took the money, put him in jail. When he comes out, he's still a great brother here, but he ain't got no money to transfer drugs into another kind of business. If you a pimp, if you're doing that, and you're good at it, you're a businessman. Your product is the sale of women. Okay, so we bust you for that. That didn't take away your productive mind. All you need to do is turn it. We walked in the hood. The brothers came to me and said, Farrakhan, said, man, we doing this, but we doing this to survive. I understood him. All these empty buildings on the south side of Chicago, and he got money, but he can't put it in a bank. You got to find some place to hide it because it's so-called unclean money. Now, I don't know how Mr. Kennedy hid his money and laundered it and did. You know, they do laundry work. But my point is, he was in a beef a few blocks away, another gang, guns and drugs, so he couldn't go across the street to partner with the brother over there and say, look, man, we killing each other. Let's stop this, man. You pool your money, we pool ours. We buy up all these buildings. Give these young people a job, having people who know woodworking, carpentry, electricians and roofers and all of that, and teach the young. When we came out of slavery, we were the builders, man. White folk, if you saw him with a hammer in his hand, that was news. Hey, look at that cracker. He got a hammer. If he wasn't hitting us in the head with it, he sure wasn't building nothing. We were the builders in the South, everywhere else. But when we got out of slavery, the enemy said, if them Negroes start building, all of them will have jobs. We'll have nothing. So what they did, they opened up the immigrant population from Eastern Europe. And a Jewish man by the name of Samuel Gompers started the AFL-CIO. But you couldn't get in it. But it was Europeans now in the union, the trades. Now they wouldn't let us work. And now they couldn't, our fathers couldn't pass that on to the next generation. So with every generation, we became less and less builders. So here we are today without the skill, but the inner cities need our genius to rebuild the wasted part of Black America. I'm going to close that with this. We have to stop the beefs. You know, when a man tell you, put some respect on my name, that's kind of serious. And brother wasn't playing when he said it. But when we start dogging each other rather than lifting each other, after we dog each other, we can't come together with each other to plan for the whole of our people. Now, I just want to give you what I would consider a thought, a couple of them. If you're not going to be out Sunday, I'm just going to give you a hint. How many of you realize that our people are dying from all forms of cancer? We lead in every phase of cancer, blacks. Our women, they say, are the #1 carriers of the AIDS virus. How did that happen? They put our young men in jail, and then hardened criminals say to a young black brother, you gonna be my B. He didn't go in as a homosexual. And when he comes out, he don't come out to be one, but he had a heavy homosexual experience in prison. When he went into prison, they tested him to see if he was diseased in any way. But when it's time to come out, they don't test him. So the first thing he does when he comes out, he wants to find his girlfriend and resume the life that they lived before they put him in prison. But she don't know, and he doesn't know, that they infected him while he was in prison and made him a carrier of the AIDS virus. We are under a genocidal plot from the highest levels of the U.S. government. I'm not saying something that I can't prove. And I say this to you with all humility. When you know the truth, you have a responsibility to speak what you know. When you know the truth, it doesn't mean anything that you know it. You've got to develop the courage to speak it. Courage, you can't buy it at Walmart's, you know. Farrakhan did not develop courage from reading somebody's books. When you love and love deeply, you will fight for what you love. Look at a mother who never went to firefighting school, but let her baby be in a fire and she know her baby is in that house. She'll break past the fireman to go get her baby and risk her life in so doing. What's the power that gave her the courage? It's the love of that life that's there. Martin Luther King loved us. Malcolm loved us. Elijah Muhammad loved us. Muhammad Ali loved us. The great leaders, Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, all of them really had love for us in varying degrees. But the greatest love is when you can sacrifice your life for what you love. You are a people worthy to be loved in spite of our madness. God loved us and chose us to be the cornerstone of a new government. He don't want you integrated into this. He want to bring you out of this and make you the cornerstone of his kingdom. You, unfortunately, want to stay in this because you have fallen in love with your persecutor and your 460-year-old enemy. And Reverend, if you're here, you know, you can tell them to love everybody, but God don't. And if God is the greatest of all and he don't love everybody, you think you can compete with him? See, our love of the enemy is a foolish love. But should we hate them? Well, the scripture says, no man can serve two masters. You're going to have to love one and do what? I didn't write it. I just believe it. I don't have no cracker as no master. From the richest of them that I have met, I never have bowed to them. If I was a whore, they could have bought me. But I'm too much in love. They ain't got enough money to buy me. And I'm not a rich man, but I'm rich enough. And even when I was broke, I was a man. And that's why the enemy can't stand it when we show love for one another. That drives him crazy. At the Million Man March, I don't know whether any of you were there 20 years ago. Brothers and sisters, I mean, think about that. I said to those that we taught, I said, don't bring no guns. Don't bring no weapon. Bring yourself. This was to be a spiritual journey. I wanted to see if we would forsake work on Monday, school on Monday, and pay a price to come to Washington. And we did it. And on that day, when you looked at that sea of black men, some young men hadn't seen their fathers in years, but they met them at the Million Man March. It's true, it's true. Now, Clinton was president, but he left town. He was down in Texas somewhere. Congress closed down. The Supreme Court closed down. City government closed down. And all it was 1.5 million to 2 million of us coming around. Demonstrating love for one another. I caught a lot of flack for having the Million Man March from some of the sisters, you know. What kind of thing is this? Is a sexist thing, you know. Damn Muslims. They're against women. No, man. God made man first. If you don't have a man, you can't be the woman that God created you to be. Can't do it. And guess what? He can't be a man without you. That's why I always tell the Catholic fathers, hey, you know, God didn't tell you not to have a woman. You keep listening to the Pope, you know what I mean? And get a woman, brothers. Even if you're a little gay now. You know, I know, listen, brothers, let me tell you something. I have gay people helping me. I have never disrespected them. And they ain't never tried no gay stuff with me. I'm just being 100. Now, truth. The enemy is doing something to feminize black men. You're a great man.
Yes, he is.
But the enemy wants to make you less than what God made you.
That's right.
Oh, come on, man. I was born this way. I don't think so. God don't make mistakes. See, there's something in the nature of a pig that a pig will have sex with the same male pig and a male pig. Yeah. That's in their nature. They can't help it. Well, you eat a lot of pig, then they say man is what he eats. And Jesus said man is what he thinks. So the bad food that you eat, now you can't live on this McDonald's stuff. You got to take care of this. This body is the real house of the living God. This. It is sacred. This. So what you put in this, in food and drink, can either extend the life of this or diminish the life of this. Most of our people that are sick, the sickness and disease is really rooted in malnutrition. Have you heard that before?
Yes, sir.
If you haven't, I want you to think about it. Everything that God wanted us to have to sustain and maintain life, he already put it here. He never made a health food store. He just made the herbs and the bushes. And he taught man how to use what he created to heal any illness of this body. When my teacher, Master Farad Muhammad, came to North America, the first thing he did was to go into people's homes that they would permit him in and look in their medicine cabinet. And he would take all the medicines out of the cabinet, throw it in the garbage pail, and point to the kitchen. See, that's your medicine cabinet. Well, what does that mean? If the kitchen is your medicine cabinet, who is your woman? See, sisters, you the doctor, baby. If you know the science of food, your children can be kept well because you know the science. Your husband can be kept strong as he goes out in this world to try and make some money to feed his family. You keep him strong.
That's right.
With what you do in that kitchen.
That's right.
Where do you shop for food? Oh, well, you know, I'm too busy. I don't know. I frozen this and, well, what the hell? I ain't wasting no time with him. Just throw it in the pot or the microwave and feed him. That ain't love. When you love that man, you got to make sure he knows it through every morsel of food that he eats. My baby loved me. Because she proves it because I'm healthy. Now people look at Farrakhan and say, damn, I saw him the last time. He looked younger today. What's going on, man? Going on 84? Wow. Now, I could sing that song, I got a woman crazy about me. How do you know? Look at me. You can tell I ain't cooking for me. Somebody's caring for me. Sisters, you are the ones that God has created to be that food scientist. We have Muslims now studying all the chemistry of food, all of it, because this whole body is nothing but chemistry. Every chemical that's in the earth is in your body. And it's proper use of chemistry that keeps your body in balance, no dis-ease. But we got to know now what foods to eat to correct anything that we're doing that's not right. It's the food. Now, even knowing how to eat to live, you're not going to live long if you allow the white man to grow.